Before we get into anything else today, we are going to do something together. Right now, before a single exercise begins. In the next 30 seconds, you are going to find out exactly how well blood is actually moving through your legs at this very moment. No equipment required. No getting up from your seat. Just 5 honest questions and a number you are going to remember. You are beginning with a perfect score of 5 points. For every symptom I described that applies to you, subtract 1 point from that total. Let's find out where you stand. Number 1. Do your feet or toes feel cold even when the temperature in the room is perfectly comfortable? If your answer is yes, subtract 1 point. Cold feet are not simply a matter of preference or thin socks. Cold feet mean your blood is genuinely struggling to complete the full journey all the way down to your toes. Number 2. By the end of a completely ordinary day, not after a long hike, not after hours on your feet, just after normal sitting and routine light activity, do your legs feel heavy or unusually fatigued? If yes, subtract 1 point. That sensation of heaviness is blood and interstitial fluid pooling in your lower legs because the return flow back toward the heart has slowed significantly. Number 3. Do you notice any swelling around your ankles as the day goes on into the evening? Perhaps your socks are leaving deep, lasting impressions in your skin. Perhaps your shoes feel noticeably tighter at the end of the day than they did when you put them on in the morning. If yes, subtract another point. Number 4. Do you experience leg cramps, particularly at night? Those sudden, sharp, involuntary spasms in the calves that jolt you straight out of sleep? If yes, take away 1 more point. Those cramps occur because your muscles are being deprived of oxygen, and oxygen reaches your muscles exclusively through your blood. Number 5. Have you noticed the appearance of spider veins or varicose veins that were simply not visible a few years ago? If yes, subtract your final point. Now look at your number. If you scored 5, your circulation is genuinely strong right now. The exercises you are about to learn will help protect and maintain that. If you scored 3 or 4, your body is already sending you early, meaningful signals, and this is precisely the right moment to respond to them. If you scored 2 or below, I want you to pay especially close attention to everything that follows. And I also want you to feel something other than discouraged. Feel motivated, feel energized. Because here is the truth. The lower your score right now, the more dramatic and noticeable your improvement is going to be. Save this video. Commit to what I am about to show you every single day for 2 full weeks. Then return to this opening and take the test again. I am genuinely confident your number will be higher. Right now, pause the video and write your starting score in the comments section below. This gives you an anchor, your real, honest day 1 number. When you come back in 2 weeks and take the test again, you will have something concrete to compare against. Your own progress, documented right here. So here is exactly what we are doing today. 3 seated exercises specifically designed to transform your leg muscles into active, powerful blood pumps. Every single one of them can be performed in your favorite armchair, at the kitchen table, or even while watching television. The total time investment is under 10 minutes. We are counting down from exercise 3 to number 1. And number 1 is built around a principle that cardiologists refer to as the second heart, a concept that will completely change how you think about your legs and your circulation. After the 3 exercises, stay with me for 3 bonus circulation boosters, including 1 specific food that functions like a gentle natural blood thinner, and 1 extremely common evening habit that is quietly and consistently damaging your veins. Let's get that blood moving. 60 seconds of essential science before we begin. Because understanding why these exercises work makes them dramatically more effective. Your heart does its job powerfully and efficiently when it comes to pushing blood downward into your legs. Gravity is helpful in that direction. The challenge, the real cardiovascular challenge, is getting that blood back up, against gravity, through increasingly narrowed vessels, back to your heart. Inside your leg veins, there are tiny one-way valves whose entire function is to prevent blood from falling backward between heartbeats. As we grow older, those valves gradually lose their elasticity and their closing strength. Blood begins to pool in the lower legs. And that pooling is the direct cause of the swelling, the heaviness, the aching, and the visible vein changes you may already be noticing. But here is the fundamental insight that makes everything we are about to do make sense. The single force that drives blood upward through those weakening valves is muscular contraction. Every time a leg muscle contracts with any degree of intention, it physically squeezes the surrounding veins and propels blood upward toward the heart. When you sit motionless, as most of us do for hours every day, that pump simply stops. Blood sits, circulation slows, fluid accumulates. Our 3 exercises are specifically designed to restart that pump without requiring you to stand up, go outside, or change a single thing about your daily routine. Exercise number 3, the seated march. Position yourself in a sturdy, stable chair with your feet resting flat on the floor and your back held upright and tall. Now simply lift your right knee a few inches up off the seat and then place it back down. Then lift the left knee and place it back down. You are marching in place from a seated position. 2 specific details are what separate an effective march from an ineffective one. First, lift with full intention and muscular effort. Do not allow your leg to simply swing up passively. Deliberately and consciously contract your thigh muscle with every single lift. You should feel the front of your upper leg, your quadriceps, tighten noticeably with each movement. Second, lower your foot back to the floor, slowly and quietly. If your foot is making an audible slapping sound against the floor, you are moving far too fast. A controlled, silent placement means the muscle is actively engaged on the way down as well as the way up. The pace should be steady and metronomic, approximately 1 lift per second, no rushing. Circulation responds most favorably to slow, rhythmic, consistent movement, not to speed. Maintain this for 60 seconds, roughly 30 lifts on each leg. By the time you finish, you will likely notice a gentle warmth beginning to spread through your thighs. That warmth is the sensation of fresh, oxygenated blood arriving into those muscles. The most common mistake to avoid, leaning back in the chair and relying on momentum to swing the legs upward. Stay upright throughout. Let your hip flexors and your quadriceps do the actual work. Before we move into exercise 2, I need to share a piece of research that genuinely stopped me when I first encountered it, because the numbers are more alarming than most people expect. Scientists directly measured blood flow velocity in the primary vein running behind the knee during extended periods of sitting. What they found was this: after just 30 minutes of sitting completely still, blood flow velocity dropped by a measurable amount. After 60 minutes, a single hour of sitting without any leg movement, flow had dropped by as much as 50%, half of normal circulation. And this was measured in healthy adults, people with no diagnosed vein problems. Think carefully about what that means. If you sit for 1 hour without activating your leg muscles even once, the blood in your lower legs is essentially crawling. This is precisely the environment in which blood clots are most likely to form. This is why every airline safety briefing tells you to move your feet and ankles on long flights. This is why hospitals prioritize getting patients out of bed and moving as rapidly as possible after surgery. But here is the part that should genuinely energize you rather than frighten you. That same research demonstrated that as little as 20 seconds of calf muscle activation was sufficient to restore blood flow velocity almost entirely back to baseline. 20 seconds. That is a shorter amount of time than it takes to pour and pick up a glass of water. The 2 exercises coming up next are engineered to target exactly that mechanism. Exercise number 2, the seated leg extension with toe point. This is a compound movement. 2 distinct circulation benefits combined into one smooth, efficient action. You receive the thigh pump and the calf pump simultaneously. Same seated position as before, feet resting flat on the floor. Now slowly and with control, straighten your right leg out in front of you until the knee is extended as fully as you can comfortably achieve, roughly parallel to the floor or as close to it as your body allows. Once your leg is extended, point your toes away from you, lengthening through the foot the way a dancer would. Feel your calf muscle contract and engage. Hold that position for 2 full seconds, then actively pull your toes back toward your shin, flexing your foot upward. Feel the calf muscle stretch and momentarily release. Now slowly bend the knee and lower your foot back down to the floor with control. Here is what just happened mechanically inside your leg during that single movement. When you straightened the knee and extended the leg, your quadriceps contracted and squeezed the veins running through your thigh, pushing blood upward. When you pointed your toes, your calf muscle engaged and compressed the deep veins of your lower leg. When you flexed your foot back, the calf relaxed and those veins refilled with fresh blood. In one smooth, connected movement, You just performed a complete circulation flush from your ankle all the way up to your hip. Let's move through a few repetitions together. Right leg extends out. Straighten fully. Point the toes away. Flex back toward the shin. Slowly lower the foot to the floor. Now the left leg. Extend. Point. Hold. Flex. Lower with control. Perform 10 full repetitions on each leg. Why does the toe point carry such specific importance? Your calf muscles wrap directly around the deepest and most hemodynamically critical veins in your entire lower body. A single strong, intentional calf contraction can push blood upward at a genuinely impressive rate of speed. This is not a figure of speech when cardiologists call the calf the second heart. It is a literal mechanical description. It functions as a genuine auxiliary pump. If fully straightening your knee produces discomfort, here is your modification. Extend only as far as your body allows comfortably. Even with a slightly bent knee, the toe point remains the most powerful and critical component of the exercise. You can also perform the toe points alone with both feet resting flat on the floor, pointing away and pulling back repeatedly, and still receive the full benefit of that calf pump. Now we arrive at number 1. Exercise number 1. The seated calf pump, what I call the second heart activator. This exercise is fundamentally different from the previous two in one important way. It is not about counting repetitions and stopping. It is about sustained, rhythmic, continuous pumping. Of everything we are doing today, this comes closest to replicating the circulatory effect of actually walking while remaining completely seated. Sit tall with feet flat on the floor, positioned approximately hip-width apart. Press the balls of your feet and your toes firmly into the floor, and keep them there throughout the movement. Now raise both heels off the floor as high as they will naturally go, coming up fully onto the balls of your feet. At the top of that movement, squeeze your calf muscles deliberately and firmly, then lower your heels back down to the floor with control. That is one complete pump. Let's move through several together at a steady pace. Heels rise, squeeze at the top, lower with control, up again, squeeze, down. Keep that rhythm going. If you were to close your eyes right now, you could almost feel the blood being driven upward through your legs with each contraction. Picture your calf muscles as a sponge being wrung out. Every squeeze forces fluid up and out of the lower leg and propels it back toward your heart. After approximately 30 seconds of continuous pumping, you may begin to feel a burning sensation developing in your calves. That is lactic acid, and it is a signal that your muscles are working at an intensity sufficient to generate real, meaningful change. If the burn becomes too intense, pause for 10 seconds and then resume. As this exercise becomes more comfortable over time, here are 2 progressions to increase its effectiveness. First, try performing the pump on a single leg. Keep your left foot flat on the floor and raise only the right heel. This approximately doubles the muscular demand on that individual calf. Complete 20 pumps, then switch sides. Single leg pumping is considerably more powerful, but only move to it once the 2-legged version feels genuinely easy. Second, place a thick, stable book under the balls of your feet. A hardcover, a heavy novel, anything solid and safe. This means your heels begin below the level of your toes, which increases your range of motion through the movement. Greater range of motion produces a deeper muscular contraction and a more forceful pumping action. The reason this exercise holds the number 1 position is straightforward. You can perform it anywhere, at any time, for any duration, without any preparation whatsoever, while the evening news plays, while you are on a phone call, while you sit at the dinner table. It asks nothing of you except the use of your own 2 feet. And every single repetition sends blood racing back toward your heart. Aim to perform this at least twice daily, once in the morning and once in the evening. If you sit for extended periods during the day, add a 2-minute session for every hour of continuous sitting. Over the course of the coming week, pay attention to what you notice. Your legs may feel noticeably lighter. Ankle swelling may begin to diminish. Those nighttime cramps may start to lose their grip. Cramps occur because muscles are oxygen-starved, and better circulation restores that oxygen supply. As circulation improves, the cramps have less and less reason to occur. Here is your complete daily plan laid out clearly. Exercise 3, the seated march, 60 seconds. Exercise 2, the leg extension with toe point, 10 repetitions on each leg. Exercise 1, The seated calf pump, 2 full minutes. Total time investment, 5 to 6 minutes. Perform the full routine at least once each day, ideally in the afternoon or evening when fluid has already had time to accumulate in the lower legs throughout the day. The calf pump can and should be repeated independently as many times as you wish throughout the day. One important timing note: avoid performing these exercises within 1 hour of going to bed. The reason is straightforward. Moving fluid upward from the legs increases the workload on your kidneys, which may result in waking up during the night to use the bathroom. Now for the 3 bonus circulation boosters I promised you. Bonus 1, the hydration timing strategy. When your body is even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes noticeably thicker and more viscous. Thicker blood flows more slowly, and that reduced flow is most problematic inside the narrower veins of your lower legs. Most people make a consistent and counterproductive timing error with their fluid intake. They drink very little throughout the morning and then attempt to compensate by consuming large amounts of water after dinner. The result: your blood remains thick and sluggish during the active daytime hours when you most need it to flow freely, while your system becomes flooded with fluid right before bed, contributing to ankle swelling and disruptive nighttime bathroom trips. The corrective approach is called front-loading. Drink the majority of your daily water intake during the first half of the day, a full glass before breakfast. Consistent intake throughout the morning hours. By mid-afternoon, 3 or 4 o'clock, most of your daily fluid should already be in your system. Then taper off gradually through the evening. This strategy keeps your blood viscosity low and your circulation flowing efficiently during the hours when it matters most. Bonus 2. One food that actively supports circulation and one common habit that quietly undermines it. The food is beets. Beetroot contains exceptionally high concentrations of dietary nitrates, which your body enzymatically converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a signaling molecule that causes the smooth muscle in your blood vessel walls to relax, which widens the vessels and makes blood flow measurably easier. You do not need to eat beets every single day to benefit from this effect. 2 to 3 servings per week is sufficient to make a genuine difference. Roast them and serve them as a side dish. Slice them into a salad. Or if the earthy flavor is not appealing to you, drink beetroot juice mixed with a small amount of apple juice to make it more palatable. Now the habit that harms, and this genuinely surprises most people when they first hear it: crossing your legs while sitting. When you place one leg over the other, you physically compress the veins running behind both knees simultaneously. You are pinching shut the primary channel through which blood travels upward out of your lower legs. And the pattern that makes this particularly harmful is that most people habitually cross their legs in the evening, precisely when circulation is already at its daily low point. Bonus 3. The 20-20 rule. You already know from the research I shared earlier that blood flow drops significantly after just 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting. Here is the most practical and sustainable solution to that problem. Every 20 minutes of sitting, give your legs 20 seconds of intentional movement, 10 calf pumps, a brief seated march, or even simply pressing both feet firmly into the floor and releasing. 20 seconds is enough to substantially reset the circulation clock. Set a repeating timer on your phone or watch. If you sit for 10 hours in a typical day, that represents 30 separate opportunities to send a fresh wave of oxygenated blood through your veins. Across a single week, that adds up to more than 200 circulation resets that would simply not have occurred without this one habit. The cumulative effect of those resets, compounding over days and weeks, is not trivial. My friends, let's return to where we began. You wrote down a number at the start of this video. That number is not a judgment. It is not a diagnosis. It is not a verdict on your health or your future. It is simply a starting line. The most important thing a starting line can be. Here is the challenge I am extending to you directly. Perform these 3 exercises at least once today. Incorporate the 3 bonus habits into your routine. Repeat all of it every day for 2 full weeks. Then return to the beginning of this video and take the 5-question test again. Answer each question with complete honesty. I am genuinely willing to bet that your score will be higher than it is right now. Your feet may feel warmer. The swelling around your ankles may have decreased. The nighttime cramps may have become less frequent or disappeared entirely. Every single point you recover is direct, measurable evidence that your body is responding, that your circulation is improving, that the work you put in is producing real results. When you retake the test, come back to the comments section and share your before and after numbers. Write something like, started at 2, back after 2 weeks, and now at 4. I read every comment that comes through. And your progress, your real, honest, personal result, might be exactly the thing that convinces someone else who is sitting on the fence to finally begin. If this video gave you something genuinely valuable, please hit the like button. Share it with someone in your life who mentions heavy or tired legs, someone who complains about cramps or swelling and has no idea that a solution this accessible even exists. And if you have not yet subscribed, join this community. New, practical, evidence-based health guides arrive every single week. Take care of your legs. They have carried you faithfully through every experience of your entire life. Now it is your turn to give something back to them. I will see you in the next one.